not bad. I feel like I can shoot.
What's that?
So I feel like I can shoot it better than that though.
Dog, look at that one sticker holding on, dog. Like, bro, I ain't telling you this paper, bro.
Dog, I feel like I can shoot it better by myself.
Right.
Without a laser, dog. Give me these.
Go without the.
All right, so doing my first gun review ever. Not the first gun I ever bought. It's actually it's the first gun I would say, like the first real gun I ever bought. Like the first gun I think I ever spent some, like what I consider like making a major investment and being pretty serious and doing some research on it. And I have owned this gun for, I think around 5 or 6 years now. Actually, the gun was actually stolen from me at a point and returned. So, you know, me and this gun have actually been through a lot. But this is the FNX 45. This gun comes in 2 models. It comes in the model you see here, which is the standard model, and then you have a tactical model as well that comes with raised sights, a threaded barrel, and a relief cutout so that you can add a optic to it. So before this, I carried a XD 45, and the biggest thing the problem that I had with carrying the XD was that I felt like the overall the capacity for it wasn't exactly where I wanted to be, especially when I looked at you know, what other guns were out in the market and what a lot of other people carry, being like, you know, if you carried a 9 or a 40, you would have, you know, potentially run into somebody who had, you know, quite a bit more ammo capacity than you did in your standard 45. I think back then that XD carried, I think, I want to say like it was 12, you know, and then you think about most 45s on the market today, you're looking at around a 9 shot capacity on a lot of those weapons. Whereas this one is comes standard with a 15 round magazine. So you figure you do 15 plus 1 in the chamber, that gives you 16 rounds of 45. It is what you call a single action, double action gun, which means that it's not a striker fired pistol, it's a hammer fired pistol. Single action meaning that the way that the gun is fired is the trigger can either just simply release the hammer. So this is the hammer. So it can either release the hammer and cause the hammer to fall, or it can cock and release the hammer, depending on the if you have a round loaded into the chamber or not, and if you have already put the gun, like cock the gun and then put it in and then use the decocker to decock it. You can use the trigger to both cock the hammer back and cause it to fire. So hold on, so I can demonstrate that with one hand real fast. So it has a safe, which is why I don't carry it anymore, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. So we look here, we can say it can either, and that's the single action, it causing the hammer just to fall, or you can go through the double action, which is here when you're causing you see the pistol, you pulling the trigger is actually causing the hammer to cock, and then it's gonna cause the hammer to fall. So that would be considered a double action. And that's actually how I prefer to carry it. If I were to carry this gun, that's actually how I would carry it. I would carry it with a round in the chamber off safety, with it in the with the hammer decocked. And that's because Personally, I feel like, in a panic in the situation, if I needed to use my gun to defend myself, even something as simple as waving the safety off is something that can be potentially missed in the heat of the moment. And so that's why I personally don't carry guns with safeties anymore, and why I stopped carrying this gun. I think this is a great gun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's in truth the probably like one of the, if not the best, definitely I'm full with it. If not the best, probably realistically one of the best 45s on the market right now. I think it's an excellent gun for a range. I think it's an excellent gun to keep on the side of your bed. But I do not think it's an excellent gun to carry. Why? Because it is a full-size gun. I'm 6'4". I have pretty large hands. And as you can see, this thing is freaking still pretty huge, even inside my hands. It weighs quite a bit. It's a combat pistol. I mean, that's what it was developed for. It's super reliable, shot literally thousands of rounds through it, never had any problems, ran all different types of ammo, never had any issues with it whatsoever. But again, when you talk about just weight, the gun is just really not something that can be easily concealed. And that's kind of why, and I would think the secondary problem with it is that, FN just does not have a lot of people making aftermarket things for it. So when you start talking about, getting a hold to different types of holsters, you're going to be super limited, or you're going to have to go out and probably get something custom made if you want to carry something like this every single day. But when you're talking about, a gun for, shit hit the fan, or like I said, a gun to keep on your nightstand, this is a great option, especially with it having Picatinny for you to be able to mount a light on it, or a lighter, or a light and laser combo. So, definitely a lot of upsides to owning this weapon. I'm not sure what the price point on these are anymore. I think, last time I checked, they were still hovering somewhere around $700-800, which to me, I feel like that's more than fair for what you're getting. It's an excellent firearm for, under $1,000. I mean, it's not a lot of things that's really comparable to it on the market at that price point, especially when you talk about quality wise. The gun is fairly easy to take down, fairly easy to maintenance. I probably should have did that in this video, but right now I don't have a stand or any equipment to hold this and to hold the camera and do that. So I won't be doing that today. I'll probably make a separate video, but I'm sure you could probably find a video pretty easily on how to take this gun apart. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on this particular gun. So if you're looking for a 45, definitely I will highly recommend this compared to any other 45s on the market currently. I think everything else is either inferior in quality or exorbitantly priced. So I believe that, this gun has always kind of felt in a niche when you talk about 45s, right? There's not a lot of 45s that's going to be super comparable to this. Naturally people are going to obviously throw out a Glock, but it's a Glock. So I digress. I won't get into that just right now, but I'm sure a lot of the Glock owners will go in the comment section. But around here we don't buy no Glocks. So thanks for listening to this. Right, and I add, it's not that I don't like Glocks. It's just that the Glock owners are kind of a mess. But we'll leave that for another day. So thank you guys for taking the time out to listen to this. I will have another video coming up of a gun that I would highly recommend that you buy if you're looking for a good gun to carry every day. I'll try to make sure I get some stuff to hold this camera up too, so that I can probably do a better video. But this is my first video, so hey, doing the best I can. All right, have a good one. Peace.
They're shooting way right though.
Way right?
Yeah, see, you land, you were aiming at that shit. You're 2 steps over. Up. See those 2 bullets? Oh, they're shooting the green ones out. You only got one. When you look at it, it doesn't, if you look at this and you look at it's a little blurry in the background. It's okay. Phil, want to try mine?
Is it ready?
Yeah.
Try Dad's after. Try his after.
It's hard to see your front side.
You don't like the front side?
All I see is the black.
Oh, you don't see the red very well? Are you a little colorblind? Oh, I didn't know.
I'm a lot.
I didn't know that. The green is probably better for you then, huh?
Yeah,